For plebs, by plebs, dropping the Bitcoin-only signal. Pleb Underground. Welcome everyone to the Pleb Underground.
Welcome back. This is Pleb Underground, episode 116. Nocturne in E flat major, played daily. Écoutez déjà, hodl fear and il ager. Short that with this wager. Build the levels multi-stager. Lapping now, we've already played ya. Ask for help from the maxis. I promised they'll ager. Locked in on BTC in this fight. It's a cager. Bitcoin Twitter, found your tribe. Bitcoin meetups, ground your vibe. Pour one out for those lost, imbibe. Incompetence over malice, what I try to ascribe. Cut through the noise and their diatribe. Non-standard transactions they want to inscribe. Too cool for the mempool, out of band with their bribe. When I'm taking shots, I'll pop, cut, and jibe. Fuck Cantillon money, they can't stop the thieving. High PQ individuals, they can't stop deceiving, dropping bombs all over, can't stop the grieving. The truth is scattered, you can't stop retrieving. The threads from all over, you can't stop beweaving. They call it a bubble, but can't spot the cleaving. If you feel like a puppet, you can't stop believing. Perhaps you'll birth a meme lord, you can't stop conceiving.
Oh my God, that was great. Yeah. Woo-hoo.
That's right, guys. That's right. You know who we've got.
Yellow making it rain in his retirement. Let's go.
Everybody misses you, dude. Everybody misses you. So let's dive into it. Episode 116 of the Pleb Underground. Yellow, thank you very much for joining us.
Thanks for having me once again, guys. What's up?
Of course, dude, you know what's going to happen. We've got all kinds of shit to go through, all kinds of FUD and REKT and Hopium. Somebody actually said that we should rename, I think it was Snarky Alien that said we should rename the Hopium to, what was it, Dystopium? So, I don't know. We'll see what we'll see what people think. Maybe we should rename it to that. Anyways, let's do it.
That's a good thing because I know nothing for a week now on what the fuck is happening, so it's good. It's a good thing for me.
No, you're about
That's
to
why
learn,
we
dude.
do the show. Then you know.
This week was a pretty big train wreck. It was a pretty big train wreck, but I don't want to make an announcement of an announcement. So let's just dive right into it. We're going to move it on over to the numbers.
Yeah, the numbers, of course, brought to us forever by timechainstats and timechain calendar. Phil, what do the numbers look like this week?
At the time of this recording, the block height is 874,592. The Bitcoin fiat exchange, 101,120. Big Macs per BTC. I thought we asked for that to be changed. Anyways. Okay, so 19,634 Big Macs. That's right. You can instantly have a heart attack. Anyways, total public lightning capacity, 5,249. Even though the Bcashers and the BSVers pretend that lightning is dead and doesn't work. The fastest fee, 16 sats per VByte. Moscow time, ooh, 988. That is not a lot of sats per dollar.
I changed my mind, Phil, about the Big Mac thing. We don't want to get rid of it, but we instead of it being just one solid number or a dynamic number, right? We need the graph of Big Macs against Bitcoin over time, or the other way around, because we've discussed this before, right? Big Macs are essentially like almost the best object to look at for inflation globally. Like they and they are what's the word? They're geographically priced, right? So they're cheaper in countries that are poorer, etc. Like so they're one of the best measures for inflation. Rather than getting rid of that statistic, I think it would be good to see the chart over time. Like, okay, yeah, Bitcoin's getting pricier, but how much Big Macs are getting pricier as well? So like, are we, what does the chart look like, sir?
That's right. Okay, Ant, if you heard this, you heard the request. You know what we want. Yellow, any thoughts on the numbers that we like to start the show off with?
Well, it seems as Barry told me on a DM, 100K is being transformed to the new 58K. So I can look like it.
It's the floor,
so hold on.
Right?
Sorry? It's the
the
floor?
new floor. Kinda.
Oh, yeah.
Kinda.
So hold on. Let's just put it out there, right?
It might be 99, but it's a rounding error. Like, it's 100K now, the floor.
We are recording this on Friday the 13th. I said this before the show. I'm going to say it anyways now.
Yeah, I just jinxed
right?
it, so
yeah,
you're welcome for the cheap sats, yo.
we are recording this on Friday the 13th, right? And we've got Yellow on here, who was instrumental in destroying the 58K gang, right? And since we're having fun with numbers, 5 + 8 is 13. So I feel like there's some type of universal synchronicity that is going on with this episode.
58 times 2 is 116, the number of the episode. What's going on?
See, so like, you see, guys, this is serendipitous. It is absolutely serendipitous that we're doing this episode and that we've got Yellow.
Gotta Google serendipitous now.
Come on.
It's peculiar.
Serendipitous?
Okay, I'll take
it's like synchronicity.
Yeah.
It's similar, but not the same.
Yeah, if you go down to those numbers of Bitcoin and like the patterns that it gives out, like you're gonna go crazy in the end.
Hey,
so look,
why don't you have a number of Don't Stop Believing shows listed on timechainstats? Like, what's going on, guys? Like, TC.
That's a nice number too.
Where's the number for Don't Stop Believing shows? Like that seems like a good number to have on a statistics website about Bitcoin. Like it's yeah. It's kind of sacrilegious for them not to, right, Yellow?
Sacrilegious, yeah, true. DSB ended on a Fibonacci number, like 1, 2, 3, 1, 1, 2, 3. That's a nice number.
I'm telling you, it's all aligning. It's absolutely all aligning. All right, let's take a look at something. We're going to switch gears because this is not going to align. Probably should be on REKT, but fuck it, we're going to put it on the numbers because why not? It is numbers and it's pretty funny. Here we go, guys. I mean, look, PlebUnderground kind of called it. Any person that understands equities could have seen this a mile away. That's right. The shareholders from Microsoft voted. And take a look at that, guys. Look at the percentage of people that voted for.
It's not 55%, right?
No. That's right. It's that's right. It's half of 1%.
That's like numbers, okay? That's numbers that like Chairforce might be familiar with, kind of thing. Like.
And look, we could see right here, right? Rabenstein, it only means 99.45% of Microsoft shareholders are highly regarded. Look, I cannot disagree with that. I can't disagree with that. But guys, if you were paying attention to this show, you kind of already knew that this was going to happen. If you had been following equities, right? If you have been following Microsoft, you'd know that they don't give a shit about this. The question is, the question to you guys though, are you happy that Microsoft said no to this or not? And I guess I'll start off with Yellow first, and then we'll go to Walton.
I don't think they care or not care. I think they don't have the capacity to care or not care. I don't think the shareholders of Microsoft, meaning people that got older and got richer through Microsoft, those guys don't have the capacity to think for themselves. They do and vote, I believe, in the most of the people from those guys, they do act and vote if they take an appropriate line from the big guy upstairs. Like if the big guy upstairs came and supported that before the vote, it would probably be the opposite. 95% of them, they will be voting yes right now. I don't think it's a vote. I think it's what does the company line says for now. And that's why it's not important to me.
Look, at this point, I would say that everyone has the same access to the same information. Like some people want to stay mediocre, some people want to excel, and you can't take their word.
Yeah, I mean, look, I just to finish it off, essentially, I can say this from my own experience. When you get these proxy vote documents, okay, most of the time you just take a look at what the board of directors suggests, and then you simply just go along with it. Like the majority of the time, people don't know enough, and believe me, that is by design, right? Like that's the way that it works. So that reflection, right? That reflection to me of the 0.55% that voted for Microsoft to get involved with the Bitcoin treasury, That is the percentage of people that actually understood what the question was. Okay, like these are the people that actually read the questions for the proxy vote. That right there is a perfect sampling. Anyways, it's okay. Microsoft, you are giving everybody else another opportunity to stack hard. Let's all, give a moment of silence for the Microsoft Zune, right? That was another missed opportunity from them.
Isn't Chairforce like on the board of Microsoft? I feel like he should be if he isn't. Like, maybe he just needs to help them with their laser eyes. Like, maybe they've got like dodgy laser eyes, and they need like some, they need that kind of support in house. And right now they don't have that. And usually Microsoft does this sort of thing with acquisitions, right? You've seen that in AI recently, right? Mm-hmm. So Chairforce, maybe you need to go get acquired by Microsoft.
Yeah, he's retired for now. I don't know what he's doing.
Oh God, yeah, that's okay though.
In hiatus.
Yeah, right. I feel like Chairforce hodl has been what was that like since like 2023? I feel like after the Bitcoin conference, right? Like just after the Bitcoin conference. Is he okay? Anybody speak to him? He's okay.
Yeah. All right, given that it was his thing, the whole like laser raid to 100K, like, and he's not even here, like. Part-timer, huh? Like Yellow, it's impressive that,
He
doesn't have you have to carry the torch for all of these meme factory part-timers, huh?
No, we're going to kick him while he can't defend himself, okay? He just wishes that he had the same heart as Yellow.
He can defend himself because it's not like much to defend, right? So
his name was Chairforce. He started this. Gotta give respect for that.
Absolutely. All right, we're going to pour one out for Chairforce, and at the same time, we're just going to wrap up the numbers at this point and start diving into the Fireside chat. Let's do it, guys. But before we move over to the Fireside chat, a word from our sponsors.
It's like people only do things because they get paid, and that's just really sad.
PlebUnderground is brought to you by NOHhue. Go check them out at NOHhue.com. They are building Amazon for Bitcoiners, a one-stop shop for Bitcoin-only brands. New brands are going to be added every month, so go check them out. Don't miss what's happening at NOHhue.com. PlebUnderground is brought to you by CypherSafe. You guys all know I am a pet rock enjoyer. Love the swag. Love the collectibles. This is the ultimate Bitcoin collectible. That's right, guys. We're talking 16 ounces of solid titanium, the Bitcoin Rolo Triangle. Go check it out at cyphersafe.io. PlebUnderground is brought to you by ThunderFunder. Go check them out at thunderfunder.com. ThunderFunder is a funding portal registered with the SEC and a member of FINRA. Their mission is to provide retail investors access to investments while supporting the growth of open source projects. They love Bitcoin. Check out their shitcoins. Thunderfunder.com. Welcome back, everyone. I mean, it's not like I have to reintroduce Yellow. If you don't know who Yellow is, this is Yellow. I've known Yellow for a really long time. He was one of the first Bitcoin Twitter accounts that I really appreciated. I just did not see you, Yellow, as one of the typical engagement farming accounts. Now, everybody, I think everybody kind of knows more or less your story because we've all kind of been paying attention to the DSB spaces. But man, it's been a week. It's been a week since anybody has seen you. I have seen Bitcoiners that are down bad and they're freaking out that there is no DSB spaces. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good. I'm relaxing
what are you
a
doing?
little bit. I'm mostly eating Cheetos and rewatching Star Trek episodes. That's what I'm doing. Like, I'm doing nothing, and it's glorious. And
okay,
I'm
wait.
enjoying it.
Wait. Hold on. We're going to back up to Star Trek. Which Star Trek, though? Is it the original Star Trek with William Shatner, or tell me which ones? No?
I hate that. I really do. Yeah, it's
we can't be friends.
I know.
We can't be friends.
It's not my thing, man. It's not my thing. I really tried to watch it, and I couldn't do it.
Why not?
My Star Trek is the Next Generation, and even Voyager. I can rewatch Voyager. I cannot rewatch. I watched it once with Kirk, and I cannot do it again.
So hold on a second. Next Generation, is that the one with Captain Picard?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so that's the one when I was a teenager that was on TV. I'm not gonna lie. Thought it kind of sucked. I grew up again.
Really?
I think it's just because we're old. I think I'm slightly older than you, but I grew up watching the reruns of the original Star Trek, right? With Captain Kirk and all of that cheesy stuff and Leonard Nimoy. And for me, like, that's real Star Trek.
Yeah,
I can't help it. I've tried, dude. I tried
opposite.
so hard to get
me,
into
it's
the
the
Next
opposite.
Generation. I don't know.
Yeah, for me
I
it's
don't
the
fucking
opposite.
know.
Yeah. Even the newer like Star Trek, like the Enterprise it was called, like in the 2000s, that it got out, like that was fun also. Like I enjoyed that too.
Was that? Wait a second. I always get confused. Which is the one with the whoopster? You remember there was one where they put Whoopi Goldberg. They gave her a job for a bit because she couldn't have any other work.
Later seasons of Next Generation.
Next Generation. Okay.
Later seasons though, like the last seasons. Yeah.
You guys can tell, like, everybody who's watching this that's a Trekkie, they're like, Phil doesn't know shit about the rest of Star Trek. that's what's happening. It's like, I just remember these random scenes from commercials on TV. Okay. Anyways, moving on from Star Trek, I really wanted to pick your brain about because we were having this discussion this morning in Good Morning Bitcoin, and you were showing up to Good Morning Bitcoin for a while you were doing DSB Spaces, and now you ditched us. And no, I'm not offended. I'm just saying it. But so today we were having.
It was funny. Keep it.
Keep going.
We'll keep it. Of course, I lost my train of thought because short-term memory loss. But anyways,
Yellow abandoned us, and he's a terrible person.
That's right. No, we still love you. But what are your thoughts on? So I was getting into this discussion this morning with Stefan Livera because Michael Saylor tweeted out this thing about Metaplanet, right? Another company on the Bitcoin standard. And look, I'm not saying I don't appreciate companies saying the magic word, okay? But I just something about like. I feel like everybody's throwing what they can at the wall, right? And just to see what sticks. So it's like, we don't really make much money. We're actually losing money year over year. This Bitcoin thing, and then all of a sudden we're doing this Bitcoin thing. I just want to know, right now, what are your thoughts on just that particular part of the evolution of the, I guess of the journey of, the Bitcoin space?
Well, it was something that we were talking about, that it was coming like a few months back, like even years. Like we were starting our own spaces in order to combat a company there that was running its own spaces, and it was like making normal for plebs the whole macro thing, and that led to and remember that, like how we were fighting that, because like we were seeing plebs with MSTR tags,
the corporatization of the public Bitcoin space.
Exactly. Like it was coming, and now it's here, and it's more popular. And at some aspect, again, I can never tell anybody what to do with his or her money, but in the end, like it's a way to it's another way to control this thing, I feel. I do understand in some aspects, in some cases, when you have locked some kind of money in a fund that you cannot use otherwise, you're only exposed to Bitcoin through those companies. I would accept that, but other than that, like championing any kind of company over peer-to-peer Bitcoin use, like to me, it's like stupid. Like why would you why would you champion the avatar of the real thing? Like I don't get it. Like the fake projection of the real thing, now when it comes to those companies themselves, I don't know, kudos to them. Like they're found a glitch in their little metrics, and they're taking advantage of the situation, and they're buying more and more Bitcoin. For them as an entity, I guess it's a good thing. They're getting more Bitcoin in the end, and especially to the ones that are running those entities, they're getting more control to that Bitcoin. So Yeah, personally, I'm neutral to don't like it.
Yeah, I'm probably in the same boat. I think for me, one of the concerns that I have, because as a hodler, right, you know, and I'm going to quote Vikingo, right, his staying solvent mantra, right? Well, part of staying solvent is having cash flow, money coming in, right, so that you don't have to spend your Bitcoin. And I understand that companies can dilute their shareholders by, you know, offering shares based on their Bitcoin holdings, right? So I understand that that is a vehicle for getting money, but I feel as though at some point these businesses are going to hit a wall where they actually have to have revenue that doesn't come from essentially from hype of people wanting to hold their shares. Like, for example, MicroStrategy, as much as I shit on it, right? Like they still make $400 million a year. You know, Semler Scientific actually has earnings without their Bitcoin. Okay. So if Bitcoin were to leave that picture, MicroStrategy would still exist. MicroStrategy wouldn't just die. Semler Scientific wouldn't just die, but I think SOS would be gone. I think that Nelan Resources, right? The pump and dump fucking, you know, scheme gone, you know, like, sorry, Metaplanet gone, you know, like all of this stuff I just think is complete fucking nonsense. And I to me, to your point, right? I don't care what people do with their money, but you should be aware of all the information before you make a decision, right? And I think that this is where we're kind of like we're misleading. We're, you know, people are being misled by the idea that, hey, you know, the Bitcoin flywheel, right? You know, like that was popularized by Michael Saylor, but Randy McMillan has been saying it for years. You know, like the Bitcoin flywheel, where they're going to sit there and they're going to hold Bitcoin and then issue more shares, and those shares are going to go up, which means they can then go and create more debt, and on it goes. I think people are missing the fact that companies at some point need to actually turn a profit, right? At some point, they do need to produce something. So I don't think this is going to end well. I don't care what people do, but I don't think it ends well for these companies.
The last thing I would say is, even if I want to be very lenient to those guys that are doing are buying MicroStrategy instead of like Bitcoin and having it in their custodial wallets, like in the end, you are championing basically centralized entities holding your Bitcoin. Like, even if I want to be very, very polite about it, and you can do it. Yeah, exactly. It's like you can. I understand the glitch that Saylor is taking advantage, and I'm in favor of it. Even if I go extra polite about it, but in the end, you're saying your Bitcoin, you don't holding your own Bitcoin, somebody else does. Like, for that only, I'm gonna make fun of you a little bit.
Yes. Because it's kind of hypocritical, right? Let's be honest. It kind of makes no sense.
Until now, whoever like was saying, "Oh, I'm keeping my Bitcoin on the exchange sites," we were make fun of those guys. That's what we did.
This is no different. This is no different. Yeah, I'm not a fan of this, and I am seeing, you know, some pretty predominant Bitcoiners that are standing up for this, right? Because of course they feel attacked by this, right? It's they have to defend it. Sorry, I don't give a shit about these corporations.
A fellow pleb quote-tweeted my last meme after the DSB and said something about, he only posted in the MicroStrategy stupidly long group in the Twitter thing they have, like a closed up group they have.
Oh yeah, the irresponsibly long group.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And he quote-tweeted and said, Saylor found a way to monetize this kind of like mentality.
Yeah, he did. He did. He's an excellent
is.
salesman.
Because he knows, like, if I have a bunch of Bitcoiners, those maxis, like in the end, like those guys don't sell. So if I have my base that doesn't sell, that frees me up to do so much thing around debt. It's another meme coin.
Thank you.
It's a kind of a meme coin he did with MicroStrategy, but like he didn't launch it in Solana. He
Ain't
did
no
it
second best meme coin.
yeah, he did it on Wall Street, man. He did it on the financial system that already existed. It's brilliant if you think about it.
It
I
is.
give him kudos to that. Like,
Yeah, although
This is what
to
we've
be
been
fair,
saying.
Stacks was a registered security as a doing the shitcoin play before MicroStrategy, I think, right?
They were, but
Yeah.
MicroStrategy has a better story than Stacks for Bitcoiners, right? Stacks is too much of a shitcoin. MicroStrategy, he's created this fantastic story where he's the hero, right? He's like Peter Pan. He's showing up and he's taking everybody away. Look at me. Look at what I can do with my magic. Michael Saylor, Peter Pan. Weird. Anyways, okay, we're gonna leave MicroStrategy alone for a minute.
Reference.
Yeah. Sorry?
I understood that reference.
Okay, cool. You wouldn't believe it, but I'm sober. Anyways, let's move on and talk about, because I'm curious. I'm not gonna lie. I had a lot of FOMO for the last halving party. But my OCD and mental disorders force me to stay at home, and I don't leave my couch. So obviously, I had regret.
I totally understand that. I have that too.
So you understand? I mean, we had a conversation about this.
Yeah.
I obviously regret it, right? Like it's a cope that I didn't go, right? So I had to create coping mechanisms around that. So my question is, what are the plans for the next halving party? I got to mentally prepare so that I can actually go to it.
Well,
the moment when you realize Phil needs medication. All right.
We're doing it again.
You think we're not all dead in 3-4 years time, bro?
What? Why?
What?
We're what?
No, I don't know. I'm kidding. I mean,
Come
I don't know.
on.
I'm kind of old now.
No. We're doing it again.
45. What the fuck?
We're gonna try. We're gonna try and keep it the same vibe that we had in the first party. That concert vibe that party had. That gathering. I think that's important to keep it, and also keep it like relaxed around speakers and all that. It has to be pretty much the same vibe, because that vibe we had, for some reason, I don't know how we did it. It wasn't by design. I swear, for sure, it was an event produced by the Meme Factory. Okay, we didn't design it, but it just happened to, because it has to do around Bitcoiners, man. Like it was so perfect. It was so perfect. Like basically an enclosed little paradise of ourselves, like our little citadel with good music, good food, and lots of Bitcoiners to mingle and laugh. And that's the best thing you need, like a beer next to the beach and laugh.
I'll tell you
don't
why.
need much.
I'll tell you why it turned out that way. It's because of you guys. Okay, it has to do with who you are, right? When a person who wants to pretend that they're all fucking special and make a whole event about how special they are, that's how the event is going to come out. But when somebody or a group of people come together and put on an event because they genuinely want to have these interactions, and they want to have this specific experience of togetherness and whatnot, then that is, in my eyes anyways, that is what is going to be projected. So it really had to do with who you guys are. So
Yeah, thanks for saying
sounds
that.
cheesy, but that's what it is.
Yeah, so yeah, for sure it's happening again.
Okay, good.
We had a blast.
I'm gonna make it this time.
This time I am.
This time, yeah. This time I'm definitely showing up, because if this is the only way that I can see yellow, then I have to bend the knee.
Not only that, we're gonna have I'm gonna do like a live DSB.
Oh shit!
Yeah, for a day.
Okay, so I mean, I can't. Yeah. And again, right? I can't say that I did not have regret when I saw that you did that. When I saw that you did that at what's it called, at the last halving party.
Yeah, it was fun. Yeah, we had fun. Yeah, DSB is coming. By the way, DSB somehow it's gonna come back. So don't freak out. One way or another, it's not gonna be everyday thing for sure. The format will change. It has to change. And somehow we have to continue this without me becoming crazy. And and we have to continue it until like 1 million, however it takes.
I think people love it. People love it. And, you know, I will say this. I can say this about the DSP space, right? About a year after you started doing it, I would see your space pop up and I would just feel bad. I would see your space pop up and I was like, fuck. I'm like, this guy is just, no, I'm serious. You know, I'm like, this guy is just fucking trucking along, you know? And it just, again, I know that like some people sit there and they're like, yeah, whatever, you know, just starts a space every day. Who cares? You know, people do not, I think that there's a lot of people that do not appreciate and understand the strength in persistence and humility. And I do think,
humility
that's
a great word though, Phil.
Right? Like, I think that that's what it is.
Yeah, because like this started off as essentially a bet. Yellow thought we were going to get to 100K in like 100 days, and he was off by about, 1,070 something, right? And what started off as like what started off as a bet with some swagger and some confidence became a public humiliation ritual that was actually Yellow really just saying, yeah, okay, I got it wrong, but I'm going to keep doing it until I'm right. He's like, look, if I don't close out the position, I haven't lost yet. He's like, basically the story is hodl. I think, right? It's like,
yeah, it is.
It is.
Hodl onto that feeling, something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It became
that can of Red Bull.
Yeah, it became an allegory for hodling, and the last space I did is like
it was beautiful.
One of the last spaces I did, I even said it like in the end, for me, Bitcoin and DSB became the perfect allegory for who I am. Also, like in my life, I was always in the mediocre. Like I wasn't excelling in anything. I was a misfit, like, I knew about stuff, all around stuff a little bit, but I was never like the expert in one thing, So I feel like that's what Bitcoiners are in most of them. Like they have some abilities pretty good, but what they have in the stat that is out of proportion from everyone else is what I call in the space stubbornness. Like we are outside your 100K wall. You think we're going back? No, we're not. We're gonna see.
What happens now?
Yeah, what the fuck do you think is gonna happen now? Slowly and steady, we're gonna tip on your SAT from your red wall and gonna be making it ours. And that's what exactly happened with that wall, right? And even if we dropped, we are stubborn again to go climbing again. Like we won't stop. That's what the one thing we have as a superpower, I feel. We have that kind of mentality. I'm on my knee again. Okay, get up again. Get up again. So you don't win with that guy, against that guy. You don't win against that guy that doesn't give up. He won't stop getting up again. There's no winning.
You know what? You just reminded me of that scene in Rocky. I think it was Rocky 2. It was either Rocky 2 or Rocky 3, right? Where what's his name?
Being that guy.
Where what's his name? Creed is having that conversation with his coach, right?
He's all wrong for us, baby. I saw you beat that man like I never saw no man get beat before, and the man kept coming after you. We don't need that kind of man in our life.
It's inspiring, right? Like people do not understand the strength of persistence, right? And if you think that the current financial system has not become as powerful as it has without that persistence, without that steady water drop. Take a look at where we are. We're using representations of money, derivatives of derivatives, and it's being printed out of thin air. Their persistence has paid off for them. So we have no choice. Fucking crazy. I'm excited. See, man, having you on is so motivational. I love it. All right. I think it's going to wrap it up though for the fireside chats. And
can I just share something, Phil?
Of course you can. Absolutely. Let's do it.
I can't because you haven't enabled the setting. The perfect transition to the next section, of course, REKT is everyone's hearts and souls in the wake of the DSB train.
It's true.
Nice.
We feel it, my dude. We feel it, and we appreciate you.
Thank you, guys. We'll be back, and we'll do bigger things also.
Let's fucking go. All right, guys. That's gonna wrap up REKT. Great way to freaking wrap up REKT, Walton. Great way to wrap up the fireside chat. Great way to wrap it up. Great segue into REKT. Let's do it, guys. We are moving on over to REKT. That's right, guys. Let's dive into REKT. The first tweet for REKT. No, it's not Nick Can't Mine. Nick Can't Mine is not REKT. He's a fellow pleb, and he's a good dude, so he's not going to be REKT. But
well, I wasn't looking. I thought it was Dennis Porter. My bad.
No. Well, it's close to Dennis Porter. It's not far, Walton. It's not far. Okay. So, but I think you'll appreciate this, and I really want your take on this rap. Okay. So this guy is trying to convince the city of Vancouver, okay, that's in British Columbia, to adopt Bitcoin by rap. Yeah, no, but you gotta listen to this.
Wait, I think I've heard this rhyme before. Someone did him on the street. Anyway, let's play it.
Here we go. Okay.
On, buy the dip, buy one and flip. Fuck yeah, making those bips with nothing but bits. Don't panic. It's not like Matic. I just sold on my ETH. F you, Vitalik. Vancouver, buy some BTC. Just act like you're a MicroStrategy. Be a little less meme doji, and it was all just fiat before me. Little altcoins feeling forgotten. It's apparent Bitcoin's still their parent. All its adoption leaves alts feeling rotten until Elon comes along with an option. He yells, Doge! But a meme coin means be wary. Bitcoin's a revolution. Its pollution's a herring, a red one. So let me just reveal my key. My public one, dipshit. I'm no dummy. It'd be a disaster. My private key got into y'all's damn hands, or he or she. Bitcoin's back. Get your Wi-Fi dialed up, lock it in, go all in on a long, into your trade like a winner. The crash of Luna, a hack, then crypto winter. I'm into interest when watching them hiking rates while minting through mining is spiking. Testnet, testing, please. They failed to mention QE's inflation, see? 21 million and no sats for free. A testing, who sent you those Satoshis? Vancouver, buy some BTC. Just act like your MicroStrategy. Be a little less meme doji. It was all just fiat before me. This Discord, what's it for? Seems the group core, just everyone shilling this coin, shit coin. FTX didn't get the point, even after Terra Luna wrecked the joint. Y'all should learn from me, Satoshi. Can't control me, let alone find me. That's by design, B. You can't win, can't say it's over. Nobody can stop a no one, so you're welcome. That's why you still have some, and I'll be there in 2140 when the last one is minted. In spirit, because that gear gets set up and we let it run. But sometimes with this mining, it just seems proof of work is just done. It's seen its day. Environmentalists be all, hooray. Bitcoin evangelists be all, not today. I'm not the first crack at digital money. I keep the best track of transactions, honey. Doing banks work without the middlemen, and all this without lifting that little pen. You tied down like that at work, 10,000 other altcoins emerged, but for all the NFTs and OpenSea, it was all just fiat before me. Vancouver, buy some BTC. Act like your MicroStrategy. Let's be a little less meme doji. And remember, it was all just fiat before Bitcoin. Thank you.
All right, three things, Phil. One,
wow.
One, he's talented.
Yes.
Two, it's to completely the wrong audience.
Yes, exactly. That's why he's on REKT.
And three, fuck MicroStrategy, bro. Like this is where your rhyme is just like cucked. Like you're like, hey, we should buy Bitcoin so we can be like a publicly traded company that probably just sells stuff to the CIA. Like what? What? Come on. How is that the aim? Be like MicroStrategy.
Or he's too clever and that was the right audience.
That was the right audience for maybe the MicroStrategy pitch. It's the wrong audience for the rhyme.
I think so. I think it's the wrong audience for the rhyme, but for me, what really stuck was the fact that he used minting. So he did this great job of explaining why shitcoins are just absolute garbage. Okay? Did this great job. And then, right near the end, he talks about minting more Bitcoin. It's like, damn it, dude. You had it. You were so close. Anyways. Yeah. I don't know. I agree with Walton's take on this. That's why I think it's REKT. I just feel like it's not politicians that are listening to that. And I get that most of those, I shouldn't say most, but a good portion of those politicians are now quickly, it's more and more Gen Xers. So we're way more, we grew up listening to hip hop and stuff like that. So it's not really far-fetched to hear him do this. But to Walton's point, I just think like, this was one of those situations where he needed to show up with a pitch deck, a strong pitch deck, and maybe the rap wasn't it.
Anyways, what that was?
What was that?
That was like OG Bitcoiners with fuck you money with a lot of time.
Yes,
that's what
it's like he did what he wanted.
Yeah, that's like we will be seeing that more and more. I feel like OG Bitcoiners that set some like sats out of them to live comfortable lives, and now they're hanging out in their pools like Dieter, and they're thinking about raps about Bitcoin, and they're like, okay, I'll go to my local like government thing, and I'm gonna rap about it.
Like fuck these guys, I don't need their money anyways. It's like.
I don't care.
I think you make a good point.
I'm not out of order. You are out of order.
That's awesome. Okay, we're going to move on to the next REKT. This is probably the thing that got a lot of people this week reeing. Let's dive into it. Amir Taki, right? Not that I really want to give this guy attention, but
sounds kind of tacky.
Doesn't it kind of sound kind of tacky? So OG BTC dev, I have to tell everybody I'm an OG. Just let me tell you, I was here before you. Created first coin join stealth implementation, which means buy my shitcoin. Okay, so here we go. Obviously, everybody knows Roger Ver was on Tucker Carlson. Tucker Carlson
He's the guy that went and fought with the Kurds, right?
Yeah. Is he?
I think so.
I don't know, but either way, here we go. Lightning and everything Core has done is complete failure, guys. That's right. We're sitting here right now because Bitcoin is such a failure. Roger said this would happen, and it did. Oh, Roger, the all-seeing oracle. It's amazing that he didn't see himself being part of the losing fucking fork, though. Huh. What happened to the all-seeing oracle? Anyways, yeah, so independent, right? They have shut down independent small dev teams and centralized power. Okay. So Peter Todd retweeted that, right? And, he provides different screenshots, but that is not the whole point of this tweet. The whole point of it is BitMEX's post, okay? Retweeting these comments essentially from Amir Taki, right? So here we go. SegWit has been a huge success, now accounting for around 97% of all transactions. Because remember, Amir is claiming that everything that Bitcoin Core does has failed. Okay? Keep that in mind. Taproot is also proving to be a success with over 100,000 BTC stored in Taproot addresses. That is really not failure. And to finish it off, most of the very legitimate issues, okay, so BitMEX Research is actually giving credence to what Amir said, seems to have a problem with like too much excitement and hope about investments in Bitcoin from MSTR and BlackRock's ETFs, and too much focus on price, having nothing to do with Bitcoin Core developers. And I think this is a very important point, right? Because essentially what a lot of these shitcoiners are trying to do, like Bitcoin Cash supporters and BSV supporters, is frame the institutional adoption of Bitcoin as failure. Okay? So I think that something that a lot of us have a hard time with is being able to have two completely incompatible ideas in our mind at the same time. And this is, to me, one of those situations. Like, I know this is going to sound terrible, but hyper-Bitcoinization, it's not this fantasy where it's only what you want. Okay, it's not a fantasy where it's only the desires that you have, and it's like, oh yeah, that's what hyper-Bitcoinization is. No, it's going to be your enemies. And we had Janine and Lola on the show last week, right? And we were talking about this. Like, the Bitcoin enemies are not the people that you say it's okay that they're my enemy. It is the people that you do not agree with. It is the corporations that you don't care for, that you don't agree with as well, right? You may even have visceral responses to these businesses and people, and you hate them. You hate their very existence, right? But we all meet at the same Schelling point, that we each have the opportunity to transact on a censorship-resistant ledger. And I find it absolutely mind-boggling that essentially Bcashers and BSVers will just they can't be genuine. That's the issue that I have in the argument. Anyways, that's, to me, like, that's why that is a completely wrecked post. Any thoughts on this from either of you? Sorry about my rant. I've just been thinking about this one for a while.
Well, it's not about their argument. Like, they might have an argument and a critique on how Bitcoin is today that I can really even relate to and agree with it, like at some aspect. And sure, Bitcoin is like a living thing, and it can be like improved for sure, right? And
Yeah.
I agree at some aspects, like the adoption is not like what I wanted it, but it is what it is. And it has to do with who is saying that and what their incentives behind that is. Back in 2013, Roger Ver, one of the biggest guy of around Bitcoin those days,
Mm-hmm.
got on front of the cameras and said, "Trust Mt. Gox. Mt. Gox is fine." And a bunch of us back then believed him, and we didn't withdraw. We thought everything was fine. That guy wrecked a lot of people, like a lot of people, because I believe he made a deal with Carpelis to get his coins out before we do. Right?
I can't disagree with that, by the way.
And that's the Roger Ver in 2018 was selling Bitcoin Cash as Bitcoin in his site. So it's not about those guys will use a kind of truthfully argument, but it's the incentives behind what those guys want to change around Bitcoin that I'm really cautious about, because those guys tried to control Bitcoin and they failed. They did that. So at some aspects, I might agree with every Amir Taki out there at some aspects, but I will never forget who those guys are.
Exactly. Not to mention the fact that, you know, the this whole idea that somehow BCH supporters were victimized, right? Were somehow victimized by Bitcoiners and censored. It's like, you realize that it was the big corporations, right? It was all the biggest players in this space that were on the side of the big blockers, right? Like the New York Agreement. Again, this is another thing
Roger very popularized fake Tosi.
Yeah, exactly.
He made him. Roger Ver made him and brought him in the scene together with Calvin Ayre.
He lent him credit.
Tosi and Calvin Ayre, a bunch of billionaires back then, not anymore. Right?
Yeah.
They prosecuted and made hell of the life of one of us. That when they went against, like, I cannot forget that fucking.
No.
I will never forget those kind of things, right? Whatever is your point, and you might have like a truth to that point, go fuck yourselves. Like, I don't want to do, like, you fuck me once, you fuck me twice. Okay, it's enough.
Right?
It's enough out of you.
Exactly. All right. We're gonna move on from this one here. We got some other infuriating REKT stuff. Well, this is actually not really infuriating, but kind of it's gonna be I would say, I don't know if it's retribution. Let's take a look. Retribution is probably the wrong word, okay? But this is great. DS Batten, I like this account. This is probably, in terms of fighting energy FUD, this is like one of the better accounts to follow. So you know how we're always wondering, like, where does all this energy-related FUD come from, right? Like it always seems like it's an attack, but really what it is my camera getting overheated and disappearing. No, really what it is this, right? You could see here with lit maps, it actually shows where the source of the energy FUD for Bitcoin comes from. And in this particular case, that's right, guys, it came from one specific article in 2018, which spawned, as you can see, all of this other material. Okay?
Wait, he's Satoshi?
No, he's not Satoshi. He's a FUDster. No, DS
He's like the
not
Satoshi of FUD. Look at that flow
He's
chart.
the Satoshi of FUD, right? That's actually a very good point. But yeah, like look at that, the Digiconomist. You know, so all of this. So guys, when we sit there and we think that there's this giant echo chamber of all of this energy-related data against Bitcoin, no, there isn't. No, there isn't. Okay, last piece to REKT, and we'll go through the final comments before we move to the Hopium. All right, so Bitcoin error log, always with the controversy. Always with the controversy. So here we go. He submitted a BIP today, redefinition of the Bitcoin unit to the base denomination. Guys, this is going to be in the show notes. I am not going to read through this whole entire thing, but essentially the TLDR is, let's call it Bitcoins. Okay? That's what the TLDR is. Let's just call it Bitcoins. Okay?
Shout out to Jeff.
Yeah, exactly, right. Jeff was thrilled about this today. He had to talk about it in Good Morning Bitcoin. Should I care? Should we? I feel terrible about this, but it might just come from like my childhood of having to give too much of a shit about stuff that doesn't matter. I don't know. I don't care what we call them. Just fucking get over it.
It's another like silver plate pan with like a iron cast pan. It's another kind of that thing, you know. It's another thing that we have to argue around. Bits and sats, and now it's all Bitcoin.
Again?
Bitcoins. I don't know. It's funny to me. At least it's funny to me. Especially
yeah, exactly.
How it triggers people.
Yeah, I can't disagree. I do find it funny, but also at the same time I find it tiring. Kind of like a double-edged sword, right? Sometimes it's funny, but to me as like an overall thing, it's just tiring. Like, come on, we're never gonna move this ship, you know? It takes a long time. Walton, any thoughts on this? Do you care what we call it? No? Yeah, I know, it's fucking whatever. Giant Nothing Burger. Okay, last thing here. Walton wanted us to mention this. I actually put a tweet out about this yesterday, and I think it's it is something we should definitely cover on REKT, because I think it also has something to do with the way that the Bitcoin community, in quotation marks, or Bitcoin communities, seem to just lap up people that come into the space,
Like our boy T was friends with this girl, and I almost went like on like some skydiving trip. I'm pleased I didn't do that, like, because I might have got federally bitten, right? Like,
I'll show the tweet so that everyone knows what we're talking about here, because I feel like we're just being abstract without showing the meat and potatoes. You know? All right, so let's dive into it. The original tweet that Ant retweeted, Bitcoin ATM giant Byte Federal says, oh, look at that, 58K users.
58K.
58K. Compromised in breach. Oh, shit, look at that. And Ant retweeted this and says, the data includes names, addresses, phone numbers, government issued IDs, social security numbers, transaction activity, user photographs, which essentially made me put out this tweet. So the person that was trying to shame anons for not doxing themselves on Twitter, that's right. The person that works for this company was out shaming people for not doxing themselves. You can't take them seriously if they don't tell us who they really are. But anyways, this person works for the Bitcoin ATM company that sounds like an arm of the government, which it does.
And
that just
formerly worked for security services and has openly admitted to doing.
Bingo, that's right. And
Really?
yeah, that's right, dude.
They admitted to work for what?
For
Okay.
government agencies. Yeah, if you go
Wow.
yeah. And anyways, the point being, right, is that I know that it's not fun to be realistic about what's happening.
It's a peculiar coincidence.
Yes, that's right. It is a peculiar coincidence. But look, the truth is that it's just absolutely pathetic, right? That we just welcome these people over and over again into the space, and then not only that, but provide them a fucking platform because they just simply say the right words, or they get into the right circle jerks. Like it's just freaking nonsense. Thoughts?
And some of them do it weekly.
Some of them do it weekly. I know what you did there. Yeah, and you know what? Again, right? I'm just disappointed. I really am, because on one hand you have all these people that claim to be Bitcoin supporters and stuff like that. Think critically, individual incentives. Ooh, he or she said the magic words. I love them. They're so good for Bitcoin. Just stop. It's fucking embarrassing. It's really embarrassing. Okay, anyways, I'm done my rant, done my complaints. Let's move on to some happier times. Is it dystopium or hopium?
No, we're going to the moon, bro. Come on,
We're
let's
going
go.
to the moon? All right.
Yeah,
all right,
ready?
guys.
Yeah,
we're going to wrap up REKT, and we're going to move it right over to the Hopium.
The Hopium. So up first on Hopium this week, we have more public companies adopting the Bitcoin treasury strategy. A story for you coming from none other than the world's most populous country, which is?
I don't know. My camera died.
I think it's India, unless I'm mistaken. All right.
Yeah,
so
I think
anyway,
it is India.
Jet King becomes the first Indian public company to adopt the Bitcoin treasury strategy. Nothing stops this train that don't stop believing motors, apparently. And what happened to their stock price? Bing! It went from like 65 to over 110. Yeah. So seems like people like it when you do the Bitcoin thing.
Was that like an Indian stock company? What was it?
No, they're an airline. There's a
Airline. Okay.
airline. Yeah.
Okay.
Wait, are they okay? So that's completely different than the one that is planning to mine in the sky.
Oh, I don't even know about that. But
Oh yeah, yeah. This is the dumbest shit.
Retarded.
Yes,
that's retarded. Although, do you know that Virgin recently announced a flight pass so you can buy like unlimited flights in Bitcoin? Right?
Yeah.
So
Hey,
I
just
don't
watch
know,
your Bitcoin.
the airlines I think are going to start like kind of cluing on to Bitcoin a bit more because wait, Bitcoin is like to travel and seem to fly around a lot. Oh, okay.
Yellow, I'll send you the link. I made a clip about this airline that is planning on, of course, right? It was just a good way to grift investors, right? Getting them to buy your shares. They're gonna mine with planes that are actively flying, and when there aren't enough guests, apparently, I guess they're gonna set up miners in place of guests or merchandise. Dude, I'll send you it's some of the dumbest shit you've ever heard.
Surely then they have to have one of those ladies with the clipboard because you can't have unaccompanied minors on flights. Like, I'm pretty sure that's a rule.
Imagine like you're
so
a passenger. You're a passenger in that flight and you have turbulence and a bunch of like you expect like the oxygen mask to drop and a miner drops on your Whee! Put that in your mouth. Whee!
That guy's dead, but we just mined some Satoshis off of his chair, so number go up.
The memes make themselves.
They really do. Yeah, I'll send you that after. It's embarrassing. But of course, Bitcoin, of course, right? It made the stock pump. And of course, it was a penny stock, right? And who would have thought that if you zoomed out on the monthly chart, it looked like a pump and dump? I know. Everyone's surprised. Dystopium.
Up next on Hopium this week, we have news from the Middle East. Why? Because David Bailey is playing dress up and talking to the oil money and taking a conference with him to do so. Of course, Safety and other prominent Middle Eastern Bitcoiners were in attendance. But there is more and more news coming out from the event and around it that apparently there are more countries now bringing on Bitcoin reserves. I'm going to share some stories. So apparently CZ apparently is saying that the UAE already has Bitcoin in reserves, and it's inevitable for Hong Kong to buy Bitcoin. We have David Bailey here meeting Shinobi, apparently, who apparently is now a sheikh. I didn't know this. Shinobi, friend of the show, now a Middle Eastern sheikh with his own yacht. Well done, sir. I'm very pleased that life is going so well for you, and that you're helping the Middle East with their Bitcoin strategy. And David Bailey is saying that there are now 4 new countries that have greenlit a strategic Bitcoin reserve. This is happening. The G7 of Bitcoin has evolved quickly from a joke to a serious concept, and Bitcoin superpower is a very powerful meme, and there's just not enough Bitcoin for everyone to be one. And finally, Mike Germano says he spent the week in the UAE discussing of the concept of a Bitcoin strategic reserve with everyone. Mark his tweet, by this time next year, at least 5 countries in the region will have adopted one. So apparently we're going to the moon, guys. You ready?
I'm totally ready.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay. How much of this? Okay, but how much of this can we believe? Because I appreciate David Bailey's Hopium. I think he's I think that he is great at selling the sizzle. The question is the sizzle real? I don't know. I don't know if it's real. I know that he's been out there now for a little while, and he's been putting out all these teaser pics.
Do you remember last cycle or even the cycle before that, all the plebs, all the beamers, we were pretending to be Chinese investors or Saudi investors.
Or the Israeli investment funds.
Yeah, Israeli.
Right.
Remember that?
Right? You remember, what's it? Jajel Gigi, right? Gege, yeah.
And Stackamore, like all those guys, and we were also doing that. It was so funny, and now you see all those bigger accounts doing something similar. Basically,
hilarious.
It's like the same thing in the next level. The only difference is they travel there. They travel. I feel like they're traveling there to just tweet about it, create enough buzz, and then maybe sometime something will happen out of it.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
So, I think that's a good point. I think
that's
a very
what
good
it reminds me, me changing my letters to Saudi lettering or Chinese letters for some reason.
It's a very good point. And yeah, I think that is the same thing. It kind of goes back to that whole fake it till you make it thing, right? So maybe that's what to do.
Okay, I'm talking of faking it till you make it. Apparently, there are now the Dennis Porter model is being replicated, but it's being replicated by people who apparently can get access to information that not even Dennis Porter can get. So here we have breaking news. Eric Peterson says, I just received a bill draft that will be submitted to create a Bitcoin strategic reserve in a state. I believe this bill has over a 50% chance of passing. Even Dennis Porter doesn't know which state yet. Any guesses? Also breaking. I am tired. And Bcashers says maybe 10 to 20% chances it passes, more realistic. And Eric Peterson replies, there are some states we have been working on this for months and with leadership. work on his sentence building.
Yeah, exactly.
It makes me more. I think he means more optimistic than with other states. Also, depending on the state's makeup and the strength of our bill sponsor. Yeah.
Some good hope
We
here.
have another Dennis Porter.
Yeah. I think, I mean, should we start to leverage this, Walton? And should we just start making announcements of announcements?
No,
I feel like
I
feel like we just need to copy these people.
You should start having sponsors like Kansas State. We're gonna have we have PlebUnderground sponsored by the Kansas State or Texas Municipality or whatever it's called. I don't know.
That's a great idea.
PlebUnderground sponsored by the municipality of D's Nuts. Let's go.
Exactly. Like the future is we all gonna have sponsors small geographical areas that nobody knows about.
Oh my god.
Statism, but localized.
That's right.
Yeah. Exactly.
Oh god. It's gonna get so much more cringe. I feel like this bull market is going to pump really big. I don't know if you guys saw the the green red, right? The years, right? When Bitcoin, right? So that this year we're in a big green
Wait,
year.
I feel like we talked about this. Where we were in Spaces, right?
Yeah.
And that was a good one, mate. Yeah. That was a good fight, but you're like, you correcting MVK? MVK was being bearish, and you're like, "Excuse me, sir, it's a green." Yeah, he's like, "What?" Well, it goes green, red, and they're like, "Oh, whatever, red, green, whatever."
It goes green, red. So I was telling NVK, I'm like, no, this year is going to be huge because it's green. So yeah, hey, look, I mean, nobody actually pays attention to me because I'm a fucking genius. I think I've expressed this on multiple occasions. That I'm not. But so we're going to the moon this cycle. Like, this is happening. The shit coins are going to pump ultra hard. All of these fucking institutions, they are going to be selling everything but the kitchen sink, maybe even the kitchen sink. Okay, so get ready because it's going to be a big bubble and we're in it. No.
Green, red also is like a great combination for Mortal Kombat.
Wow.
Not really.
That is a fucking obscure reference.
I just made it up.
I like that. And of course, it's good for Gen Xers, right? Because Gen Xers spent enough time playing Mortal Kombat. That was like one of the craziest games when I was a kid. That's pretty much spent all of our time doing that. And it was so graphic, right? Like back then, games did what they were showing in that game was like, holy shit. Anyways,
if
okay.
Red represents stake, then the consumption of many Bitcoiners in a day goes green, red.
Green, red is also what a Greek driver sees when the street light becomes red. Like for a few seconds, it's like still green, then it's red.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
See, we're fixing these memes for everyone. We're just fixing them. This is fantastic. All right, Walton, what do you got? What do you got next for the Hopium?
That's it.
That's it.
Yeah,
all right.
Yeah, that's it.
I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good with all of that. Okay, so I think I don't know. We have anything else that we want to talk about? Or are we going to wrap up the show?
Yeah, your face.
My face.
Yeah, your glasses are too small, Phil. Like, I feel like
what happened?
Like, what happened, man?
What happened?
What are you talking about? These are
smaller and smaller glasses. What's going on?
They're the same size. Look.
No, they used to be bigger.
Guys, I've been wearing these glasses for almost a year.
Shrinkflation is what's going on, I think.
The glasses are smaller, or your head is getting smaller.
Why not both?
Bigger.
Guys, I'm working out, man. Look at this. Fucking working out. There's nothing better than a guy that's like thin with no muscle telling you that he's working out. Oh God. But no, my glasses they did get smaller. I got tired of it, right? I got tired of the giant frame. I had it for a while. It was one of those things I always wanted to do. But then I needed glasses that were going to help keep me getting laid. So I went with these, right? It's making ugly guys. It's helping ugly guys get laid. And this is what these frames do for me. Okay. But
Okay.
yeah.
Okay,
Is that okay?
that.
Do you accept my response?
I respect that. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, frame is important if you want to get laid. You heard it here first. Well done, Phil.
You're always so quick-witted. I love it. Makes me feel like I got to get more, I got to get quicker on my game. All right, guys, but this is going to wrap up this crazy episode of Pleb Underground. As if nobody, like, people don't know where to find Yellow, but look, in case they don't know where to find you, can you tell them how the viewers can get in touch with you, and the links to Meme Factory merch, and Yellow's X account are all going to be in the show notes.
Yeah, so find me there. You know where to find me. I'm on Twitter. Yeah, I'll see you there, and we're gonna have fun. I'm just hoping this bull market pumps quick and it's over quick, because my best game is in the bear market. That's where I excel, I feel. So.
I feel like all of us. Yeah.
Yeah, me too, dude. Like, I came in the bear market, and 2018. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, guys. You know the deal. All of that stuff is going to be in the show notes. Absolutely awesome episode with Yellow. Guys, don't forget to check us out on our audio-only platforms. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Anchor. If you want to stream us sats, check us out on fountain.fm. The end to another show. Walton, how do we do this?
Don't stop believing.
More toxic than the most toxic Bitcoin maxi ever. They said he's more toxic.